going to jump on and do a quick prophecy news update. It is June the 15th, and I am going to go over real quickly what's happening out there because things are happening rapidly out there. I'm just going to go over some of the quick headlines. Some of them you know, some of them you may not. Obviously, we know that there is gas is now $5 a gallon and climbing. Gas hits. I'll put the graphic up for you. Gas hits $5 a gallon for the first time, according to AAA. Thank you. Okay, so I guess we kind of all know that's happening. Prices are going up. This is supposed to happen. The reason why I do these things is to tie them into what's happening biblically and prophecy-wise. The economy's supposed to get bad. Towards the end, it's going to get bad. So let's look at the next one. I'm going to put up a graphic of the Dow, which is, I don't want to say it's in free fall, but it sure ain't doing good. Here's a graph from yesterday, I believe. Yep. And it's pretty bad. So people lost a lot of money in their 401ks. A lot of money out there is going down the tubes. So just be wise. I bring these things to your attention, obviously, to tie them into biblical prophecy, but also Jesus said, keep your eyes open, be aware, do not be deceived. Listen, we can't sit in a bunker somewhere and just kind of hope for the best and say God's going to rescue us. Obviously, God will take care of us and rescue us. But he also says in Proverbs that he says, consider the ant. The ant doesn't have anyone that's over him, but he goes out and he prepares for what's to come. So he keeps his eye on the ball and he's ready. I mean, who out there among you who knew that it's going to pour rain and wouldn't bring an umbrella? I mean, you got to know what's going on. You got to be prepared. So that's why I bring these stories to our attention and also tie them into biblical prophecy because these things are supposed to happen. The economy is supposed to get bad. Here's another one. This is from the Economic Times. Bitcoin crashes over 70% from the peak. Investors lose over $2 trillion in 8 months. So the economy is becoming a problem. Food prices are up. Gas prices are up. Things are crashing. Things are happening out there that we don't really understand that much. I mean, we get an idea of why they're happening, but if you tie them into biblical prophecy, you can see that all these things are coming together at one time. It's kind of all happening at once, which is what Jesus said when you see that, when you see these signs, he said, look up because your redemption draws nigh. So the time is getting closer. So speaking of religious people giving us warnings, here is something from the Jesuit Review. Pope Francis, World War III has been declared. So, according to the Pope, we're already in it. I kind of understand where he's coming from. I mean, there may not be boots on the ground in our backyard, but we're in it, man. There is a titanic struggle going on in the earth. Economies are crashing, wars are happening, things are happening out there, and we need to take note of it. This is obviously biblical, and it's coming quick. So I'm going to touch on one more quick review, and it's going to be this one, and this one is very pertinent. May have slipped past your radar. I think it just happened this morning, or at least it came out in the news this morning, that Israel has signed a gas agreement with Egypt and the European Union to supply them with gas, natural gas. So why does that matter? Well, that matters because if you've been following me at all, I mentioned now and then about Ezekiel 38, which is a prophecy that has to come to pass. And it's coming upon us quickly. It's a prophecy about the nations to the north of Jerusalem or Israel gathering together, and it names them by name. It's Russia, Iran, Turkey, and a couple others. And I'm just going to kind of put the scriptures up on the screen so we can understand why this matters to us. This is Ezekiel 38. I'm going to start in verse 7. It says, God is speaking to the prince of this nation that is coming against Israel. And he says, prepare yourself and be ready, you and all your companies that are gathered about you, and be a guard for them. After many days you will be visited. In the latter years you will come into the land of those brought back from the sword and gathered from many people on the mountains of Israel. It's clearly the Jews that have come back since in 1948, which had long been desolate. They were brought out of the nations, and now all of them dwell safely. This is a prophecy about Israel dwelling safely in their land. Verse 9, you will ascend, coming like a storm, covering the land like a cloud, you and all your troops, and many peoples with you. Okay, this is talking about an invasion from the north. Verse 10, thus says the Lord God, on that day it shall come to pass that thoughts will arise in your mind, and you will make an evil plan. You will say, I will go up against the land of unwalled villages. I will go to a peaceful people who dwell safely, all of them dwelling without walls and having neither bars nor gates. Why would Russia do that? Or why would these nations do that? To take plunder and to take booty. Just stretch out your hand against the waste places that are again inhabited, and again a people gathered from the nations, who have acquired livestock and goods, who dwell in the midst of the land. So this agreement that we're talking about is going to be with Israel and the European Union, and I believe the natural gas is going to go through Egypt because they are able to refine it and make it more suitable for use. So why is that a big deal? Because Russia supplies the natural gas to Europe, and now they're not going to, and that is going to take a huge chunk out of their budget. And I'm sure they're going to be looking at it and say, we got a problem. So this just sets the stage for this Ezekiel 38 and 39 war that's prophesied. Is it tomorrow? Don't think so, but it sure is coming quick. So I do these updates so that we'll be aware of what's happening. And I'm going to keep putting them out there as I get them. I don't dig real deep right now. I mean, there's a lot of other stuff that I could post, but I'm going to kind of build it up so that we understand where we're going related to biblical prophecy, and then we'll get in a little deeper as we go down the line, because in my humble opinion, these are not going to stop. They're going to become like birth pangs, more quickly and more intense. Anyway, see you soon, and like, share, subscribe, and get the message out, because he's coming back soon.